What's going on, guys? My name is Christopher and welcome to It's Complicated, the show where I talk about and showcase wristwatches. So if you love watches like I do, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button, then click on the bell and you'll be all set. Today we're going to be showcasing the Seiko SKX007. Here we go. Okay, and here we are having a look at the Seiko SKX007. Comes in a blue box with a white sleeve. This is the SKX007 K2 variety. Box just comes up there, and there's the watch on the provided standard Seiko pillow, hang tag, and instructions underneath. MSRP on this watch is $450 US, but you can find it for under $200 US if you're smart. This watch has a 42.5 millimeter case size. If you count the crown in that case size, it's 45.5 millimeter, making this a pretty big watch. It's got some weight to it as well. Lug to lug is 46 millimeter, and the lug width here is 22 millimeter. This watch is sporting an automatic Seiko caliber 7S26 movement. This movement is 21,000 beats per hour. You can see it chugging away there. It has a day and date complication, and this movement is used in many popular Seikos, including the Seiko 5. This watch also has a 41-hour power reserve. The timekeeping, my first measure on this watch using the Tool Watch app was +7 seconds a day, and the second measure I took this morning actually was +3 seconds a day, so keeping pretty excellent time. This watch has a water resistance up to 660 feet or 200 meters. This watch's case is in all stainless steel. This watch has a 120 click unidirectional rotating bezel. And it's a little tough to turn this bezel, but not quite as tough as turning the bezel on that baby tuna I reviewed. I had a YouTuber leave a comment on the baby tuna review, and he suggested that I submerge the watch in warm water with some mild detergent in there and give the bezel a turn to kind of loosen some of that oil or gunk or whatever is under there. And I might try that with this watch as well. So shout out to you, whatever your username may be. And of course, the bezel insert is aluminum, and it has the minutes on the outside. Pretty standard for a dive watch. Let's talk about the crystal. And that's pretty much my biggest gripe with this watch is the crystal. It is a Seiko Hardlex crystal. It's their proprietary crystal that they use on many of their watches. And I just wish that they would increase the price and just put some sapphire glass in there instead, which has a higher scratch resistance. The difference between a Hardlex crystal and something like a standard plastic crystal is if you scratch a plastic crystal, you can get some polywash and just buff it out. But if you scratch a Seiko Hardlex crystal, good luck, it's scratched. And you either live with it or you replace it. Now, I know there are sites online for about 50 bucks. You can get a sapphire crystal installed. They'll do it for you in one of these watches. And that's something I may consider if I scratch the Hardlex. Let's talk about the crown. It's a screw down crown right around the 4 o'clock position. It's pretty much mirror polished here. And the one issue I have with this watch is the crown is not the easiest to screw down. Like, there it is out. And let's see if I can do it on the first try this time, because I've been having a hell of a time with it. Nope, it's just, there we go, got it. So not horrible, but a little fidgety if you do have to set this. It can be a little frustrating to kind of screw that crown down. Let's check out the case back here. It has the Seiko Tsunami logo. It says scuba divers on it, stainless steel, Seiko, a bunch of numbers, and the serial number at the bottom there. The case, we got some brushed steel here, and pretty much mirror polished on the side there. And let's have a look at the texture on the bezel there. Just nice texture, easy to grip, very nice at this price point. Let's have a look at the dial and the hands. I love the dial on this watch. It has the red Divers 200 meter, although I do feel that's a little more of a dark orange than it is a real red. I wish that was more of a blood red. And the indices are not applied. They are just standard on the dial, flat on the dial. The second hand is like a two-tone, half of it's black, half of it's white, and the lume pip is on the back of the second hand. The hands, the minute hand has a more traditional arrow with a little extension on the end, and then the hour hand has a more traditional clock hand with a little extension on the end there. I think this is just a sharp looking dial. I love the big dots for the looms. And speaking of the loom on this watch is incredible. Nice bright green, so bright, and it seems to hold the charge very well. That picture was taken after having it outside for just a few moments and it came back that bright. Let's talk about the bracelet. I've read so many things on the internet of people saying that this bracelet is so terrible and don't bother getting it on the bracelet. And then I've read some people with the opposite opinion that said this is a pretty good bracelet. I am in the latter camp. This is a pretty nice bracelet. Now it does use the pin and collar system, so sizing this isn't exactly fun, especially because you're going to have to reline up these two center links when you push that pin back through, and that can be a little bit of a hassle. But yeah, it's got some what you would call on a Rolex, it definitely has some stretch like already, but it wears super comfortably with that stretch. And I love the mirror polished center links, and I love that Jubilee bracelet. It really gives this watch almost a retro kind of look. Let's talk about the clasp. The clasp does feel cheap. It does have the give. You see that give there, and that really does prevent this from securing sometimes. You have to have it dead straight. But once you get a feel for it, just put it on, and then you have this other little protector here, and it's very sturdy. Once you do get it clasped, it's very sturdy. So the knocks I have against this watch is the crown's a little difficult to screw down sometimes. The clasp feels a little cheap. And of course, the Hardlex crystal instead of sapphire glass. But at under 200 US, this watch is incredible bang per buck. This watch was a gift for my birthday, and believe it or not, I believe this is my very first Seiko. Let's wrap it up here. My final thoughts on the Seiko SKX007 is it's a fantastic watch. It's an original Seiko design. It's got a pretty decent bracelet on it, and as far as bang per buck goes, this might be some of the greatest bang per buck in all of the horological world. If you are in the market for a mechanical watch and you don't know where to start, this would be a fantastic place to start if you don't want to shell out thousands of dollars for something like a Rolex. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this the best bang per buck in the horological universe? And that wraps up another episode of It's Complicated. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, like this video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you next time on another episode of It's Complicated.